You can record this and watch it later. Okay, so once you've clicked on Game Design Demo, we're going to click on Lesson 1. Now, I don't know how you record it, Benjamin. You have to have some software that does it. So try and click on this. Man, so it's the high that keeps struggling, huh? I'll tell you what, I'm going to record this and I can send it out to everybody. That'll work too. So I'll record it and then I'll just email it to everyone. So hi is Gabby. Good. So are some people not able to get to this spot? Is this one not working? If you click on that link, it should take you right to here. See how that worked on my computer? Okay, see if you can get it working. Try a different browser. I'm gonna keep moving on, and then I'll record this and send it out so that maybe you can try it when it gets working for you. Might be the slow video that's causing it. So a couple things I want you to notice. So this is the layout of our courses. When you click on a folder, it's going to open up Lesson 1. Click on Lesson 1, and you have all of the lessons for Lesson 1. And then at the end of every lesson, there's a quiz. And when you pass the quiz, Lesson 2 would open up. Now, we're in the demo count, so only Lesson 1 stays here. You're not going to be able to get to Lesson 2. That's when you have the full course. While you're doing these lessons, you'll see we have a chat support. So feel free to even use this today. I have a guy that watches chat support. So if you're lagging behind, you can also just pull up this chat and chat with him and he can help you out. So go ahead and click on Game Design Demo, Lesson 1, and then Overview. Okay. Looks like a couple people can't get to the student demo. Try a new browser, try Chrome. It might just be because it can be slow when you click on it, and we have so many people on this video that it might just be lagging out. So Benjamin, I wish you the best of luck. I hope you can make that work, but try like Chrome or something and then click on this. Okay, so in the overview, this just talks about the course. So first we're going to build Pong. So this is going to take us through learning JavaScript and then how to get an object on the screen, how it moves around, and all sorts of stuff like that. And then we build, I don't know if anyone's played Agario. So Matthew said he just had to click on it a bunch of times. Yep, whenever the JavaScript code grabs, and it'll eventually go through. Don't give up on it. So this is just an overview of what the whole course is like. So come on over here to 1.1 Introduction. So some people did a copy and paste. So try a copy and paste. Good, you guys are helping each other out. That's awesome. Okay, so when we click on Introduction, before you can write JavaScript, you have to be able to understand a little bit of HTML. So nothing can run in a browser without HTML code behind it. So HTML is written in these tags. Okay, so we're just going to go over this for a little bit. This is an HTML tag. So it starts with that less than, and then it ends with the greater than. And Sydney already has her own website in HTML. That's awesome. And then it will have a word in between. This is an HTML element, and these are pre-written. You can't do like a Sydney tag or a Seth tag. You have to use tags that the browser already knows. So I'm going to scroll down to this skeleton right here. So what happens is the browser reads code. So when I say browser, I mean Chrome or Firefox. It reads code from the very top to the bottom. So it would start reading here, and it would say, okay, he has an HTML tag, so he's going to be doing HTML now. And then at the very bottom, you'll see this tag, another HTML. In fact, you'll notice that there are two of every tag. So here's a question for you guys. What is the difference between the two tags? Like these two body tags, what's the difference between those two? Anybody have a guess? Just type it in the chat. One has a slash, that's right. So the one without a slash is an opening tag, and the one with the slash is a closing tag. Now, HTML is just like a person. It requires two things to exist. It has to have a head, and it has to have a body, so just like us. So they serve two different purposes. The head is like the brain. This is where the title goes. This is how you link to other documents. And this is where you can do some special tags where you write different code other than HTML. in the body, that's what gets displayed in your website. Does it have a heart? HTML does not have a heart, but you can draw a heart with HTML. Very good question. So the body tag is where you write things that you want people to see when they visit your website. The head is where you give it information. There's not a spleen. Sorry, Eli. Now notice this tag, script tag. So what do you think a script tag does? I'll tell you. So when the browser starts reading your code, okay, thanks, Ben, and then I'll send everyone this video. So when the browser starts reading your code, it's going to find a script tag. You can click on these for information too. What a script tag does is it allows the browser now knows, okay, he has an opening script tag, he's going to start writing JavaScript, and then there's the closing script tag. So when you're writing JavaScript, it has to go between HTML script tags. If you try and write JavaScript just on its own between the body, it's not going to work. Okay, so that's what you need to remember. Script tag, JavaScript. Try and make it super easy. Okay, this is a little activity. We don't have to do this, but basically you drag and drop the tags in the right order. A closing tag would never go there. It would have to go at the bottom. If you notice, the head opened and then the title opened inside the head. So that means the title has to close before the head closes. Those are just a couple of things in HTML. We have a whole course about HTML if you are super interested. Okay, so let's go to the workspace. Okay, this is the most important part. So this part's probably going to take the longest, but this is super important to get this working. What we're going to do is we're going to create a coding environment on your computer so that we can start coding together. So we have to download something. We're going to download some images. I think there's some background music and our text editor. We're going to be using a text editor called Sublime. So what I need everyone to do is click on Windows instructions. And this is something I'm hoping that I just did right. This is what I was fixing for this demo. So if you were on a Windows computer, you need to click on Windows instruction. If you were on a Mac or Linux, you would click these other. But you should see this video that would walk you through it, and then you would see this line of code right here. This is the hardest part to get going. Okay, so everybody open up Windows instruction, and then we're going to go through these steps together. Okay, I'm going to go slow, and we're going to do them together. So everyone click here to download the Windows Game Design Workspace. So you click on that, and it will start a download. Okay, I'm in Chrome, so it went to the bottom left. If you're in a different browser, it might go to a different place. But it's only 9 megs, so it shouldn't take a super long time. But let's have everybody click on that download. Now, mine isn't completely done, even though this blue line went all the way around it. I have to wait for that to go away. So it may take a minute. So everyone download that. Let me know if you have any troubles. So if we can get this part right, then we're in business. Opening in 22 minutes. Oh, don't tell me that, Eli. If it takes too long, there's another way we can get coding. But this is the best way and the most fun. So mine's not even done yet. Oh, I should have sent you guys this link so you could do it beforehand, now that I'm thinking about it. We'll give it another minute or two. Okay, so mine just finished, and then you have to click on it. Okay, is anybody else still waiting for theirs to finish? Besides Eli. Lucy's isn't done. Okay. So when it's done and you click on it, you'll pull up a window like this. Now you do not want to click on this folder. What happens is the way that you transfer files between computers is something called a zip. And so they zip it up. You'll see this zipper right here, a little zipper. So when you zip that up like that, it's just to transfer. It compresses it so it's smaller, and it allows you to transfer between computers. Now, you can't use files that are inside of a zipper folder, so you have to get them out. And for some reason, they use a weird word called extract. So we have to extract the contents. I wish they would have just called it unzip, but they didn't. So when you get this far, you'll see step 2 Oh, click on the downloaded file when completed. We did that. Click extract all. Sometimes it says extract all, sometimes it says extract. You can see my computer just says extract. So when we get here, we're going to click on extract, and it's going, oh, and then you click on extract all. So extract, and then we want to extract all, and now it's going to ask you where. Okay? So just pay attention to where it's going to put it. It says, I'm going to put this inside your downloads folder. Okay, so Sydney, that just means you clicked on it twice. So you can get rid of Game Design Demo 1. So it just made 2 copies of it. Okay. So you can delete the number 1. Okay, so I'm going to browse. I don't want it to go into my downloads folder. I'm going to click browse and click on my desktop. So it'll go into my desktop. And then I'm going to hit select. And now you'll notice that it says, okay, I'll put it on your desktop. Now when you have that, we're going to go ahead and hit extract. Okay, and then it's going to pull up this bar. Oh, goodness. And it is unzipping the folder. Oh, I should have sent you guys all this. My fault. 1% complete. Is this how, does anybody have theirs extracting right now? I didn't know it would go this slow. The last demo I did, it went pretty fast, actually. Cam's already finished. Wow. I'm extracting. Lucy's is still loading. And you can see mine is, I wonder if I may already have it on this desktop. Ben is done. Yeah, the last demo I did, it went pretty fast. See, I already have, oh wait, no, this is the one that it's trying to make. I probably have it in my downloads. Okay, so how do you get to the extract screen? So when your download is complete, then, okay, so when your download is complete, then you just click on the download. Click on the download after it finishes. Okay, we'll see how much longer this takes. If it starts taking too long, then I have a link where we can just start coding. Okay, so workspace is 1.2, so you can see I went into this link. What does that sign mean, Eli? I don't know what T_T means. Does that mean you're sleeping? So click on that, and then you'd click on Game Design Demo, and then Lesson 1, and then Workspace. Okay? Sydney is fully extracted. So Gabriel, that is how you get there. So you click on this link, and then you go Game Design Demo, Lesson 1, Workspace. Download progress bar still isn't visible. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna do 2 things here. Oh, that's a crying emoji. Got it. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 things. It's more fun to code on your own computer. That's the way we like to do it. There is a link that has things kind of set up. So for those of you, oh my gosh, hold on. It's going to my Capital One card. I have all these tools that you guys actually can't see because I have all this stuff in the way. So we're going to go simply coding/coding. And I usually use a Mac, and so this computer can't handle it. We're all downloading so many things. All right, well, the browser one's not going to work either. I want to see if some other websites are working. Yeah, keep Chrome open. Okay, Mac, it works fine, Ben. I didn't know you were on a Mac. Okay, so I actually code on a Mac all the time. So if you're on a Mac, download gave up and exploded. So if you were on a Mac, then you click on Mac instructions here. And this is the version for Mac, okay? when my phone started ringing. I can't believe that all this stuff isn't going. Pong. Let's see if Pong will work. No, it's all going too slow. This is my biggest group ever. You guys are awesome. We might have to do a couple more where we can get all you guys set up. Yeah, see, this page shows up if it didn't trigger it. So, okay, so here's what we're going to do. You guys are going to watch, okay? So I'm going to make this video and I'm going to send it out to you. If you have all your stuff, then go ahead and if you have all of your stuff, then go ahead and follow along with me. But I'm going to keep going so you guys can see what the coding's like. If it's not working, just watch. And Sydney, that is the part we're at right now. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, so we're going to go to text editor. Okay, like I said, I'm going to edit this video and I'll send it to you. So once you have your workspace downloaded and extracted, then you go to 1.3 text editor. So the text editor is kind of like Microsoft Word that you guys have used to maybe write papers or write things up or do flyers. This is for coding. So Sublime Text is a text editor just for coding. It's free. There's a ton of them. There's Notepad++, there's Atom. There's so many of them. I just chose Sublime because I like it. This part here goes over a couple of hints or shortcuts how to use a text editor, what Control-Z does, Control-C, Control-V, Control-S. So if you click on these, it will tell you. But the part that I'm going to go to, so you guys could do this demo and you can read through everything and enjoy it. I am going to just get us up in coding. So what we want to do is inside the game design folder, double click on the Sublime folder. So I'm now going to move this to the side and I'm going to open up game design demo and then Sublime. Now for Windows, you need to scroll to the bottom and you're going to click on sublimetext.exe. Okay. And you are going to get this beautiful black box. Oh no, I have too many of these things in the way. There we go. Okay, so here we have this black box Sublime Text, okay? So now with Sublime Text open, we are going to do the next step. So we are going to open this file, and then we're going to create a new file. So we're going to go File, New File. I'm going to turn my phone off. And you'll see we have an untitled text file open. Okay. Next, what we want to do is we're going to save this file. I know it's blank. We're going to add code later. But when you save something in a text editor, you have to, oh man, this thing was all, we need to save it inside of our game design demo, inside of Pong. Now remember, we're actually going to be writing an HTML file. So HTML, we have to tell the computer what type of file we made. So I'm going to type in Pong, and then I'm going to do .html. And you'll notice that the name of the file now changed to pong.html, and the computer now knows what to expect and how to open this file up. Okay, so that is step 4, and now I'm going to do step 5. We're going to start with this code. This is a JavaScript class, not HTML. So we're going to paste in this code just to get us started. Lucy's extracting. Way to go, Lucy. Now with coding, spaces don't matter. The computer can read everything without spacing. It's just for us. So here is our file. I just copied and pasted from here. You'll notice we have our script tags here that are empty. That's going to allow us to now write JavaScript. We have a little bit of some HTML in here, and I'll go over that as we start using it. Okay, so next lesson. So now we're going to talk about functions. Okay, so in coding, functions are how you control your program. So what a function is function is a JavaScript command. You have to type the word function to tell JavaScript that, hey, I'm now going to create a function. Now, a function always has a name. So this function's name is good, this one's name is bad. You can name them anything you want, okay? So if the function has a name and then it has an opening curly bracket and a closing curly bracket, those are its beginning and its end. So anything between the closing and opening curly bracket belongs to that function. Now, since the function has a name, what it does is it just has this code and it waits. And then when some event happens that calls its name or triggers its name, then it runs all of its code. So if you think to like games that you guys play, when you hit the space bar, something happens. When you click the mouse, something happens. Those are all functions behind, and they're just waiting for some event to happen, and then boom, they run. So this is a function good. So it does not run until this button is clicked. So when I click run, then we get this alert window that says all is well. Okay, that code is sitting here in the back end, but it doesn't go until some event happens. And then on this button, it's saying on click equals good, which means when I get clicked on, find the function good and run it. Now, on this example, you'll notice that there's nothing between the brackets of this function. We put it below the brackets. So I can click on this button all I want, but nothing will run because it's empty. Okay, so the code that you want to belong to a specific function needs to go between its brackets. Okay, so you guys know what Easter eggs are in games, things that you kind of discover as you go. So those are great examples of triggering events in functions, okay? So there's a couple of Easter eggs in here. So example, if I click on this right here, then an explosion happens, okay? So basically there's a function in the back end that creates this explosion, but it doesn't happen until you click on it. So that deals with what we have, or we have different events. Glad you guys like Easter eggs. So these are the different events that we have, okay? So we have, I'm trying to get the right size. So we have on-click events, on-load events. Man, your guys' chats are funny. So we have on-load events. That means when the browser loads, just create my function right away. On mouse over, see, so if I on mouse over, then we get this image that says, wow, you did it. Now, on mouse out will make it go away. So I mouse over, and we get this image that appears. Go over, on mouse out. See, while I hover on mouse out, nothing happens, but as soon as I move my mouse out of the way, it disappears. So those are 4 different events that we wanted to teach you about functions. Now, here is a little example, okay? These are 4 different ways that you can use this little text editor here. So if you wanted to, you could go through these steps and create some event that will happen, okay? So yeah, we try and put weird things in our lessons, but anyway. Okay, so we're gonna get to coding. I wanna get some stuff coded so that I can show you how fun it gets. So here's the activity. So all the lessons are gonna have some content that teach you something. They all have video reviews, and then we have an activity where you are coding on your own computer. So this is, anytime you see activity and then this green text, that means time to get coding on your own computer. You guys know more about Pokemon than I do. So here we go, between the existing script tags. So we're talking right here. Create a function named start. So I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna create a function named start. And there we go, there's our function. Okay, now there's nothing in it, and right now we don't have anything that tells it to do anything. So what we're going to do is edit our existing body tag. So the reason that we're going to edit this body tag is because the body tag controls everything people sees in the browser. It's the first tag that gets loaded in to make things visible. So what we want to do is we want to make a function or an event that will call our function start. So we're going to put onload equals start, okay? And then we can type in whatever we want here. So I'll put a confirm window in here. Okay, so if I were to save this code right now, I'm going to show you a few things. I will save this code, and then I'm going to right-click inside of here. So if you're following along with your text editor, I'm going to save it, right-click, and I'm going to go copy file path. I'm going to open up a new tab, and then I'm going to paste. Okay, so that's going to bring up this code. So it loaded our body tag. It said, oh, you're telling me to run a function named start. It found my function start, and then it wanted me to confirm if everything is great. And I can either hit OK or cancel. I'll go ahead and hit cancel because a lot of the things didn't work. Now let's say we wanted to run that confirm window on an on-click. Then I could add on-click right here and then do start. Okay, I'll save and refresh. Now when I click on Pong Game, now this window comes up. Okay, because this tag is surrounding Pong Game, and we gave it an event called onClick that matches the name of our function. Oh, whoops. Okay, so I'm going to go back to how it was for onload start. Now we're going to start building the game. Ping pong, that's right, we're going to build ping pong. Pong is such a great game to start with because you get to do so many things. Okay, real quick. So functions are important. You're going to see a lot of them. What we did to kind of make building the game up and running pretty quick is we wrote a ton of functions and we stored them in a library. This is my library that we wrote. And so we have a function named open that creates a window. We have all these functions that will create images for you guys to use. Now, once you get good at JavaScript, you can go into our library and add to it and kind of see how we built everything. Okay, but I just want you to know you are using some functions that we already made just to get the game up and running. But as you get better and better, you'll be able to write your own. I wouldn't say you'll use it less because it's super helpful, but you'll be able to write your own and understand how this happens. When you go to code a program, you use libraries that other people build. You don't start from scratch. You go and see what's out there and you customize it. That's the whole idea of open source. So this is how you link to a library. You do a script tag and then you tell it the SRC, which stands for source. Okay, so that's just a little disclaimer. Now what we want to do is we want to open a window. So if you look on my computer on line 14, and I'm going to blow that text up so you can see it better. On line 14, we have this div. It's an HTML tag that stands for division, and it has an ID of target. So we're going to target this tag and create a window. Okay, and we're going to use this command to do it. SJS means go into the library, find the function open, and then find that target and open it up. So what we're going to do is in step 1 of 1.5, it says between the brackets of your start function, add in sjs.open. So we're going to go sjs.open and type it in right there. Is anybody following along with on their own computer, or are you all just watching? Excellent. Matthew's following. Lucy's watching. Okay. Like I said, I'll edit this video and send it to you. Okay, so now that we have that done, notice anytime that I make a change, this circle appears. That means I've made a change to this file without saving it. Now when I hold down Control and do S, Control S, it means save it. So now everything's up to date. So I can now come to here and refresh the browser so it grabs the new code. And we have ourselves a little box to create a game. And we could change the color of this box if we wanted. We can make it purple. That's so pretty. Thank you. Glad you liked it. Okay, so now we have a box. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to figure out how do we get objects on the screen. I'm going to go through this kind of quick because I'm going to get these objects on the screen, and then you guys are going to tell me how you want this game to be played, and I will walk you through how we would code that in. So a couple things. When you're dealing with programming, you might be working with another programmer, and it's good to be able to leave notes. It's also good to label things. But if I put like end start bracket right here, because I want to keep track of my end start bracket, it's going to think this is code. So if I copy and paste, everything gets blown up and deleted because it says, I have no idea what type of code this is. So in coding, we have things called comment tags. And in JavaScript, you do 2 slashes. What that means is it tells the computer, hey, just ignore this. This is for me and not for you. I'm going to write this so that I know where my start bracket ends and I don't lose it with all the other brackets that'll happen. So just skip this line of code. So that's what it's talking about with the comment section here. Okay. So next, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. Objects are important. Yes, they are. We are going to get an image on the screen. So in JavaScript, when you create an object, you can think of it like a car, for example. If you have a car, it doesn't really tell you everything about that car. You just know it's a car. And then you can go and define the car and give it a bunch of attributes. So you could say the color of the car, the speed of the car, how big the tires are, how many doors, how many people can sit in it, how fast it can go, how many rocks it can climb. So that's the same in JavaScript. What we do is we make an object that's an image, and then later on we're going to go and give that image a bunch of properties. So the way that you create an object in JavaScript is you have to type in the 3 letters VAR. That stands for variable, and then you give it a name. You can name it anything. This one happened to be named ball, but you could name it anything you wanted. And then you create a new existence of it. So you bring it into the world by telling it it's new, and then you tell it where the image is located. So in that download that you guys will have, if you notice inside of Pong, there's this folder called images, and it's got a whole bunch of images in it that are ready for you to use, okay? So I'm going to be using those. Oh man, that got squished. Don't get squished. Okay, so I'm going to go into the activity below sjs.open. So right here, create a comment tag where your ball properties will go. You got it. Done. Okay, step 2. Below the comment tag, it's good to label things. Create an object named ball and choose an image from the images folder to use. So that images folder was the one that I just showed you, and it talks more about it up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go VAR. That means I have a variable. That's a built-in JavaScript command that you can use anywhere. Then you're going to give it a name. You don't have to use ball, but I'm going to. You create a new instance of it because this is the first time it's going to exist. And then you say it's an image, and here's where it is located. Okay? So it's located in my images folder, and its name is spike.png, not .pom, .png. Save it, and then refresh, and we got ourselves, oh man, that's a hard background to look at. Let's change the background. Okay, there we go. It'll be like in the sky. So now we have our ball on the screen, okay? Okay, this is where we're gonna get, cruising. Yep, the old spiky ball. Okay, now you'll notice we want the computer to be able to keep track of the ball. Okay, so here we have this little image. So although the ball has a name, we need to give it an ID so the computer can trace it everywhere it goes. So if you look at this little graphic, you'll notice the pizza and the spaceman don't collide with each other, but they both can pound on that fish. So as you give your objects IDs, you're able to control the collision detection that'll happen with it, okay? So that's what a type does. So when you give your object a type, it's like giving it an ID. Now, objects can have the same IDs, and we'll get into that, and they'll just react the same during a collision. But this is completely just for a collision. So what you do when you want to give your object a new property, you have to call it by name. So everything has a name in programming, and when you call its name, then it knows what you're referring to. And then you use a period. A period connects the object name to its property. So we're going to give it a type, and then everything will have a value. And so you'll see equal signs a lot. So we're going to go object name, its property is type, and then its value is ball. This is completely made up. You can give it any type in the world you want, but that will be what it knows its ID as. So if you see that it's in quotes, that means it's just a string, so it can be whatever you want. We just chose ball, but again, you could make it anything. You just have to be able to carry that through, and sometimes I don't know how to explain everything, but. So a turtle, yes, we could put a turtle on there. We'll get to that part. We're gonna get here to customizing soon. Poor fish, I know, don't you feel bad for him? And look how fast the pizza's going now. That's okay. Okay, so now our ball has a type. We want to do a lesson just for a type, because if you miss out on giving your object a type, then you're screwed up and the other lessons become hard. And Eli loves turtles. This lesson here is about finding errors. You can read over this later. It goes into using the console. I don't know if you guys have ever used the console before. The console gives you output. I'll just do a little example. Let's say you forgot an opening bracket. Save, refresh, your gain disappears and it says, hey, something happened here. On line 7, I was expecting some identifier, but you didn't get, you started writing new code. This is called an identifier. The pizza is wailing on the fish. That is a term. Which term are you unfamiliar with, Eli? Console, wailing. Oh, wailing. I thought we were going to talk programming. All right. So basically the console allows you to see errors. It's super useful. I make all the kids use it. This is the lesson that will go through it. But for today's demo, we want to mainly deal with the coding. Okay. So now that we have our object, like I said, we can just give it tons of different properties. You can set its size. You can set its location. You can tell it whether or not it has friction. You can combine properties. So once you have the object, he's yours now. And you're able to just give it all sorts of properties. So this is another little fun activity. Can't remember what it is. Oh, there's a volleyball there, and then you play around with it. But we're going to get into the real coding. So when you do the lessons, make sure you go through those because they're going to teach you and make you a good coder. Okay, so below the ball type, let's change the size of our ball. So you may say, you know what, I want my spike ball to be bigger or smaller. You can do that. So what you do is you come here and you go ball dot, and then the property name is set size. Now notice how this property was typed out. This is called camel case. You got it. I'll make it teeny tiny. This is called camel case. So anytime you combine words in programming, you don't ever use spaces. You just smash things together. And then like a camel, the first letter of each word is going to be capitalized. It's as if it's his hump or something. But they call it camel case. Okay, so let's say I have this ball. Anybody have a guess? What do these numbers mean before I tell you? What would that 10 mean? And then you'll notice there's a comma separating them. Coordinates, good guess, Lucy. Gabby said height and width. You're exactly right. So set size is height and width. We're going to show you how to do coordinates next, Lucy. That was a good guess. Which one is width and which one is height? So I'll make 110, 115. Which one do you think 10 is? Any guesses? Is that one the width or the height? All great guesses. So in programming, you always do the width number first. So this is its width and 15 is its height. So if I save this and refresh, there's our ball. You guys made it teeny tiny. This would be a hard game. Yep, so there's the ball right there in the corner. If we made it 150 by 150, looks like a smashed fly. That's right, it does. And here we can make it look like a pancake. So there's the ball. Basically, you can control exactly what this ball is going to look like. Okay? Whatever you want it to be, it's your game, it's your coding, you get to choose. I'm just going to do 60 by 60. Why? I don't know. So we can move on. Okay. So now that we have the size, now we want to move our ball around. There's a lot of ways to do that. So if you look up here, you can just tell it go in the center, go center horizontally, go left, go right, or we can just do this move to and do an exact location. So if we go ball dot move, now remember camel case, now I can tell it specifically where I want it to go. What about glide? We're going to get to gliding and moving it. So if I said move to 50x, so 50 in the x direction, so this right here is 0, 0, this top left corner. If we go 50 over, it might be there. I can't remember how big this screen is. I think it's 400 by 500 or something. So if we said go to 50, 100, it moved 50 to the left and then 100 down. Okay, so we can put it wherever we want. Or you can just tell it to center. And now it's in the middle. Okay, so again, you use the name of your object and then you just tell it what to do. You are its master. Okay, so we got our ball, we put it in the center, and here's a little checkpoint. Okay, good job, guys. Okay, so here we have some more terminology. You'll notice that this one, it uses an equal sign. This one uses parentheses to define it. So you have, these are called variable properties because we can vary what it's equal to, and these are called function properties because you're passing it into functions. Sorry to bore you, but that's, if you go and read online, it's going to use those terms. Okay, so we can give it friction, we can give it bounce. This is just introducing you to kind of some more. Oh, that got messed up. I need to go and edit this lesson. But let's go to the activity. Okay, so below ball.center, we're going to make its friction 0. You guys know what friction is? Someone tell me what friction is. It's a hard, I'm having a whale of a good time. Good. You guys all know what friction is, right? Resistance. Yeah, okay, so friction is the resistance in movement. So if we say, I want no resistance, this ball is just going to be going on forever. So below, you like physics, good. So below friction, we're going to add it ball.bounce. So bounce is a property that we made. Basically, if it hits any of these walls, it's going to bounce off them. And now we need to give it some initial thrust. Whoops. Whoops. I'm used to my Mac. Okay, so what do you think this represents, these numbers? Represents velocity, okay? So if we said push right by 3 and up by 4, so this ball is going to get an initial thrust of 3 by 4, 3 in the right direction, 4 in the up direction, so it'll go kind of diagonal. It's going to bounce every time it hits a wall, and there is no resistance. So if I refresh this now, sorry, there's a train going right by my house. There the ball goes, forever and ever, never to stop. And then if you wanted it to see it go nuts, then we just add more to it. Oh, it flew off the screen. The walls could not contain it. Oh man, that wall couldn't contain it either. Let's see what we could do. Yeah, it found a portal. Oh man. So we would have to make the walls thicker, but we could code it so it could never leave. We can trap it. Remember, when you're coding, you're the master. Yeah, you don't want to get hit by that ball. But we could also just change the ball into a pizza if you're worried about getting hit by the spike ball. So now we have it as a pizza. Okay, we'll change it back to spike. Okay, so that's as far as I wanted to go today. Let me see what time it is. Do I have time to customize some things for you? Yes, I do. I have a few minutes. Okay. So the last thing I want to show you is something called listening events or keydown events. So I am going to copy this, I'm going to paste it, and then watch me work some magic here. We just created ourselves a paddle. We don't want it in the middle of the screen. We want it in the top of the screen. Okay, so now I have a paddle up there, right? I have a paddle in the game now. And with this paddle, I want to be able to control it with my keys. So we do these things called key down. So that doesn't mean the down key. That means okay, so this right here, this code, take a look at this code. We'll get this distraction out of the way. So if you take a look at this code here, that means when a key goes down. So when I press a key, and when it's the left key, let's run a function. And what this function is going to do is it's going to go paddle.push left. Okay? So anytime I hit the down key, or anytime I hit the left key, my paddle will move left. Now I can't move it right because I haven't built that function yet. So if I go and now just change this to right and this to right, hit refresh, now my paddle moves wherever I want. But there's no collision detection yet, right? So we're going to make a collision It's an on hit between two types. So we have a type ball, forgot to do a semicolon, and a type paddle. Okay, so we're going to say when the ball hits the paddle, run a function. Okay. So what do we want to happen when the ball hits the paddle? Guys, give me anything you want, any idea that you want when the ball hits the paddle. What do you want to happen? To bounce off. We could make it go at higher velocity. Yes, we could make the paddle, yep, you could give the paddle a hit. I don't know how to do that, Benjamin. I guess that one's out of the question. No, come on, let's keep it normal. Don't go too crazy on me. But we could do an explosion. Okay, so we could do an explosion and we can have it bounce off, okay? What this means is I'm going to pass this function the ball and pass it the paddle. And the ball will be represented by X and the paddle will be represented by Y, okay? So I'm going to get coding. So what we want to do, if we want it to bounce off, then we just do our bounce off, okay? So now you'll notice that when it hits the paddle, it bounces off. Now, if we wanted to make an explosion, we have to create a brand new object. So here is, well, okay, I'm going to go really fast on this part, okay, because we're almost out of time. So if we go to and find ourselves a little explosion GIF, we'll do a nuclear explosion. Yes, and you can add sound, you can add everything. So that's all going to be in the whole course. So adding sound is in lesson 2. Okay, so we're going to add an explosion, and we want that explosion to be moved to the ball, to wherever the ball is at that time. Okay, so normally this explosion would happen in the top right, but if we say move it to X, remember X is the ball, to its X coordinate, and the ball's Y coordinate. Yeah, but we can do AI. I think we could teach you AI, and once you go through the whole course, you would see how to do it. So there's just these things called timers, timeout functions, and that's what would allow you to do some AI stuff. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to save it, refresh, and there's our explosion that never went away. We forgot to delete the explosion. Okay, so you'll learn all this code. This is what our lessons are for. But you can probably just understand it by looking at it. So now when it hits, we needed a better explosion picture, huh? Explosion GIF PNG. Oh, this one looks cool. All right, out with the old, in with the new. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh, that one wasn't any good either. Oh, this one's the PNG. This one's a good one. I thought it was going to be a GIF. This one's a GIF. Yes, there we go. And let's set its size. Okay, so now get ready. There we go. We made it. Okay, so a couple things as we finish up here. And this would make it last longer. Okay, so a couple things as we finish up. Okay, so with coding, you can control whatever you want to do. Notice that this explosion picture is inside of a function. That's why we don't see it as soon as the game loads. It only runs when an event happens. This event is an on hit between the ball and the paddle. So as you're doing this coding, it's important to recognize what events trigger things to happen. Again, my paddle doesn't move on its own. I have to push left and right. So anyway, sorry it didn't all work on your computer. It was kind of slow. I'm going to send this video out. I want you to do this class. I do these demos for our monthly members. So we have a monthly membership. Yes, we could make a troll face appear. You just go find a troll face on Google and bring in its image. So we do a membership where you can have access to all of our courses and learn coding. And then we do the live chat support all the time till 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. And then we also do I do these live screen shares every Tuesday for our members to come on and ask questions. And we just have fun like we did today. So I'm going to email all your parents all that information. As soon as I get this video rendered, I'll send it to you as well. Remember, go to our website here and you can play these kids' games that they made. Or you can go into the student section here. Oh no, wrong one. Code Dungeon. And head into the Code Dungeon. And you'll see a whole bunch of stuff that kids 11, 12, 13, 14 have been making. And they're pretty funny. So, okay, thanks everyone for coming on. I'll email you guys. Jump on chat. Come do the demo. And we'd love to teach you how to code. So, okay, have a good day. Thanks, guys.